4th and goal to go to the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Now, of course, right, it always seemed, just once again, I ain't no expert. I ain't never going to claim to be an expert. I'm just listening to what the expert got to say, right? So it always seemed like at the time of the draft, right, for Dart to go in the top 10 or whatever, it just seemed like a reach, okay? Now, I mean, obviously, so far, so good. He's played one game. He's 1-0. He played very well, all that stuff and everything. The time is going to tell if he's a true star, if he's a starter for the long haul. If the Giants got themselves a quarterback, you don't know. But there was always that, you never know. You never know, especially when it comes to quarterbacks and the NFL draft, right? I mean, you look at the year before, guys. What do we have? Like 37 quarterbacks got taken in the top 10. I mean, it was just crazy. Everybody, you get a quarterback, and you get a quarterback, and you get a, right? So, but you never know. I mean, somebody, surprises you. Somebody takes somebody. It's like they took that guy at number 7, that quarter. It happens, but. There was always a possibility because, if look at the Saints, what they had there. Is it? Their roster. I mean, hold on there. I got some. I had. No, that's not it. Well, that's not it. I mean, so far, we got Tyler Shuck. Okay, they did draft him. Okay. And they got Spencer Rattler. But on their practice squad, I had it. I guess I must have. No, I guess I must have got out of it. Must have clicked out of it. I do apologize here. Yeah. But, then they have like, it's like, it's not an imposing, quarterback situation. I mean, it seems like they're riding with Spencer Rattler, who I think is 0-10 in his career. It's like, hey, some guys might take a little while to bloom and stuff like that and all, but, they did draft Shuck. But I don't know, hold on here. I got their, let me pull this up here. Who else is on their freaking roster here? They got to have another quarterback here, huh? Let me go. No, here we go, roster. Okay, let's see here. All right, let me see now here. Who is on their roster? Quarterbacks. I mean, you figured they'd have 3 of them. Rattler, Tyler Shuck. Is that they only got the 2? Oh my God. I never even heard of this guy before. Hunter Deckers from Iowa Western. Never heard of him before. Hunter Deckers. They already have a picture for him. Wow. Okay. He's been on and off the practice squad. So I mean that the Saints, is not a, their quarterback situation is nothing to write home about. It's not like what the Giants, especially what they had, right? Especially with Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan. I mean, they have quite possibly a future Hall of Famer, Russell Wilson. Okay. who I'll take over Tyler Shuck any day. Okay. Then we got Jameson Winston. I mean, he can throw you in a game. He can also throw you out of a game, right? But he's also thrown for over 5,000 yards in a season. He's thrown for over 30 touchdowns this season. The problem is he's also threw for 30 interceptions in a season. So, but he can throw the ball, right? So, I mean, you look at the Giants' quarterback situation is, as I said, it was a shame that they had to let Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan go, right? But then you look what the Saints' quarterback situation is, kind of scratch your heads. I mean, that's especially if your starting quarterback hasn't won. Now the Saints are playing the Giants this week, so they can certainly win this week. Spencer Rattler could certainly get his first win in his career this coming Sunday. Ain't no doubt about that, right? But I mean, it's not an imposing quarterback situation. Now, one of the things they were talking about was they were talking with Dart. Is he kind of carrying any kind of a chip on his shoulder, right? He's carrying a Saints chip on his shoulder as the new Giants reality takes hold. Jaxson Dart is no saint, but he thought there was a chance he would be after he left his pre-draft meetings in New Orleans. Giants and Saints were among the most quarterback-needy teams entering the 2025 draft, and Dart was one of the main prizes of the class. Dart hasn't forgotten the perceived slight after the Saints passed on him with the number 9 pick. Now, I said it just seemed like number 9. I mean, look how, the Giants needed a quarterback in the future. They passed on Dart at number 3. They had to jump back into the first round to get him. Okay. Dart hasn't forgotten the perceived slight that the Saints passed on with the number 9 pick, choosing left tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. as he prepares to lead the Giants into the Superdome on Sunday. I think there is always a chip on your shoulder anytime that something like that happens, Dart said after Wednesday's practice, the first before his second career start. I'm just going to play as hard as I can. I felt like my visit with the Saints went good. So you kind of had thoughts in your head during the draft of what options are realistic. And I definitely feel like that was a place that could have panned out, but things didn't work out that way. And I said, I would have, to many people's eyes, that would have been a pretty big reach to take Jaxson Dart at number 9. But it is what it is, right? On the night of April 24th, the Giants had trusted intel that the Steelers were not going to draft the quarterback at number 20, but then all bets were off. So that was one of the other things. Was somebody going to get past the Steelers? I mean, they got Aaron Rodgers. Okay, great. But Aaron Rodgers is going to be there for the next 20 years or whatever. I mean, no. They'll be lucky if Aaron Rodgers is there next year. Yeah, so. As general manager Joe Shane paced the draft room looking to move up from number 34, he told his brain trust that he was specifically wary about trades the Browns number 33 and number 36 and the Saints number 40 might make into the 20s. Now, as I said, the Browns got 2. They picked number 33 and number 36, right? It's really hard because you were trying to come up with what other teams are going to do, Shane said on Giants Life. You assume everybody has their boards like yours. You like a player, you're assuming everyone else likes him. That's definitely not the case, though. There was lots of buzz in scouting circles connecting the Saints and Dart. One of Shane's mentors, former Dolphins general manager Jeff Ireland, is a Saint executive. Ew. The Saints brought Dart in for multiple meetings, and Dart felt like he built good relationships with head coach Kellen Moore. Guys got it up here, the offense, right? And offensive coordinator Doug Nussmeier. But nothing compared to the rapport he built with Giants head coach Brian Daboll, whose job security could ride on Dart's rookie development. After Dart led an 89-yard touchdown drive on the opening possession of last week's upset win against the Chargers, Daboll turned to the crowd, pumped his fist, and yelled, "That's our quarterback," or "That's our guy." I thought he said quarterback, but that's our guy. So he was pretty pumped up, right? I love it here, Dart said. There's not a place I'd rather be. I love how passionate people are here outside of the facility, within the facility. I like the attitude the East Coasters have here. Dart is displaying a little New York-minded toughness this week as he practices with tape around his left leg at the start of practice and a compression sleeve at the end. The result of soreness from 9 quarterback hits being the line of scrimmage and tackles at the end of 10 of his carries. Some of the sacks I took were some of the biggest ones hit-wise that I could have avoided, Dart said. A lot of them in the open field were on third down. I'm not going to slide before the sticks. I don't really regret any of those decisions. I'll be good to go. The Giants had pre-draft trade parameters in place with the Chargers, number 22, but that deal fell apart when running back Marion Hampton slid further than expected into San Diego's arms. So I can't blame him on that one. I mean, we saw what Hampton did against the Giants. I mean, the dude, good running back. It helps if you give him a hole too. But you'll notice the one thing is with him compared to what Scatterboo brings is if you give Hampton a hole, he can take it the distance. Scatterboo's not that guy. He's not, maybe he's got some moves. He'll also try to run you over and all that stuff. But you give him a hole, it's not guaranteed he's going to be able to take it all the way. You saw Hampton. You gave him a hole, and the angles the Giant players tried to take to catch him wasn't good enough. And he was gone. So I can't blame him. So Shane executed a trade with the Texans at number 25 to get Dart while on the other phone line with the Rams general manager Les Snead, who was picking number 26 and feared internally to be eyeing Dart. Ooh, so I thought he was a top 10 pick, ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky told the Post. He was asked to do a lot of difficult things at Ole Miss. He knows the why of the plays. Once you know why, if you don't get what you thought defensively, when you call that play, then you know what the problem is. Post-draft reports indicated that the Saints had Tyler Shuck, a seventh-year senior, graded ahead of Dart. Shuck fell into their hands at number 40 and is their backup behind Spencer Rattler, a second-year pro with an 0-10 career record. Giants hosted Shuck for a visit, conducted a private workout, and sent a contingent, including Shane, to his pro day at Louisville. I think he's a good player. Has good athleticism, Dable said of Shuck. He has his own story and his own journey, but I had good visits with him leading up into the draft. I think very highly of him. But Dart was identified as the Giants' future then, and he is the present now. It was just one game, Dart said. Our expectation is to win every game. You can't make it bigger than what it is. So it would be interesting now, right? It would be very, very interesting now, wouldn't it be? If something happened, nothing happened to nobody. I don't even want an Eagle player getting injured, and that's hard for me to say that. I hate the Eagles. I'm saying if something happened to Rattler, and you had Shuck in there going up against Dart, right, go head to head, that'd be pretty cool. But hey, it worked out for the Giants because you never know. It just seemed like, maybe Orlovsky said Dart was the top 10 pick, but it just seemed like almost everybody else had taken Dart like in the top 10 of the first round was kind of a reach. But certainly only time will tell. Okay.